are the inventors, sons of the prodigal. Bigger than just check 1, 2 in it. Some slip away from your view. We stay stuck in your face inside follicles. And like meat and mofongo, we stuffed in the jungle. Dog eat dog with no veg. We in the know without a leg.
Welcome to another edition of Let the Brothers Speak. I'm Big C the Chef. And we got joining us today, Apple Juice.
Apple Juice in here. How y'all doing?
And my man Migo.
Y'all know what it is. The young bull back at it again. Let's go.
All right, that's what's up. That's it. That's who's here tonight. We're gonna send some shouts out to Mike and Deshaun. They couldn't make it tonight. But anyway, this is it. So how was you all's week last week, man? We missed another. Did we? Yeah, we was here last week. Yeah, we were here. I'm tripping.
Yeah, we was here last week. Yeah, absolutely.
You already know how this
what?
Yeah.
It's been the holiday. This was the holiday weekend. I'm still recovering. So hey, you know.
What did you do? What did you do for the holiday weekend?
What did I do for the holiday?
Yeah. What you do?
Flip it on.
Well, I did a little bit of drinking.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I had a couple cigars.
Yeah.
I did get to go see. We didn't really see any, but we didn't go any. We were gonna go see fireworks and everything at one of the local parks, whatever. But we didn't. We was like, after the day was done and we barbecued and stuff, it was like, babe, I'm tired. I'm tired too. Let's just sit in the backyard and see what we could catch in the sky.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. But we did get to go see Bad Boys.
Okay.
We did when we went and checked out Bad Boys.
What you think?
And oh, dude, I'm loving it. I got to get that. I got 1, 2, and 3 in my collection. I got to get this one now.
I'm going to see it this week. So
yeah, well, I won't say nothing there.
You seen it yet?
I didn't seen it twice.
Oh, he said he's seen it twice.
In the movies, not on the fire stick.
Right, on the fire stick.
In the movies. I went to the movies twice to see that thing. Man.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody says it's a real good one.
Yeah.
You know what? It gives you that nostalgia of just remember you used to go and watch movies just like you wasn't over analyzing it like this ain't real. It was just a good entertaining movie, and that's exactly what they did with that, man. And I loved it.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
I loved it.
So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Good.
So you know,
I haven't had any bad reviews on it yet.
Yeah.
People like, y'all need to go see it. Telling my wife, go see it so we can talk about it. Like, yeah. So maybe we put that on the segment, next week or something like that.
Yeah,
talk about it.
Yeah.
How about you? How was your?
My week was it was pretty chill. Last week I had to kind of so this week I've kind of pushed myself to be like, okay, rather than worry about everything that's going wrong, fix what I can.
Yeah.
Fix the things inside of me. Also want to say I'm gonna call it a happy America Juneteenth, aka 4th of July.
Yeah.
Man, pray for my city, man. Y'all know I'm from the Font.
Yeah.
So man, we had some people that passed, man. And it's sad, but man, I hope we can get that right, man, because really it could be something beautiful, but we just gotta stop the violence, man. Stop the unnecessary shooting, man. If you can't buy fireworks, guns are not a good alternate for fireworks, man. But still, man, overall, I had a real good one because I had a good talk with my daughter. She's 6, and there were some things that she said, and then normally we just be ready to jump down. But I was like,
that's crazy.
Let me first make sure that she's not doing this because of something she's not getting from me.
Yeah.
And when I started off with an apology and told her, baby, if you don't feel you're getting enough attention from me, let me just tell you now that Daddy's sorry.
Yeah.
And then I asked her the questions, and she told me, and she was, believe it or not, at 6, she was able to let me know how she feels. So
right.
So man, it was an eye opener for me. Pushed myself to be better. So man, I'm real grateful for this past week.
That conversation too.
Yeah, man. It
that's crazy you say that because I had a conversation with my son, which I thought I was gonna react like crazy, but I just started thinking about it like you did, and I was like, that's an interesting perspective, right? And just kept talking. And what I did is instead of jumping down his throat, I was like, share some more with me. And it went from him not talking at all to giving us all of this information. And I was like, wow, you opened up to us, right? Because at first it was kind of like, and it started about going to church, if that makes sense, right?
Gotcha.
Not necessarily knowing why and stuff like that. And then he gave us his perspective, and it basically came down like, I'm bored, right? So we said we're gonna hook you up with something, might even hook you up with Chris up there so you can try to start running that board up there.
Mhm.
Get him interested in the thing, but he was able to give us all this information compared to like if I'm playing my game or if I'm at school and stuff like that. I have a social network and things of that nature. Don't necessarily think I have that at church and stuff like that. So he was able to expound. And one of the things I think as parents, we should open that space up where it's safe. Not just safe from a physical standpoint, but an emotional standpoint as well. They're able to spill their heart out, so to speak, if that makes sense. So that was cool. I also finally found me those dinosaur ribs and put those on the grill, which is basically like short ribs.
Okay.
Mhm.
But I had them cut a certain way, and man, they came out good. Not the best I think they would be like my next time, because that was my first time cooking them. But you basically have to cook this almost like you cook a brisket, like 8 hours,
Mm.
right?
Really?
Not like regular ribs. You just cook them maybe 3-4 hours.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
did let them go about 6. And I was like, oh, I can let these go a little bit longer.
Now, when you say cook, you talking about smoking them, right?
I'm talking about smoking them babies on
You
the
gotta let the
grill.
people know, just in
Yeah.
case they didn't
That's
know.
what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Just
Good
in case they didn't
clarification.
know.
See, it's a
Good
difference between.
It's a difference between putting them in the oven.
Mhm.
I can't believe people do that to real.
Yeah, some people do it. Sometimes they come out good. I just like that smoke on them,
Mhm.
right? It's also cheating if you go 4 hours on the grill and then come and put them in the oven for 4
I think
hours.
you
That's
should go to
cheating.
jail if you put ribs in the oven. No barbecue belongs in the oven.
So, man, that came out good. Chicken always come out fire, but I got a chance. I got 2 grills, and me and my son got both of the grills, and he had one grill and I had one. And I've been teaching him a while. He ain't burned nothing. Like everything came out pretty
I'm
good.
telling you now, I'm coming next year.
Yeah, man.
The way he talking about these ribs, I'm coming
He
next year.
burn
bro.
it. See, the ribs
I'm
gotta
coming.
have some a little
No,
burnt on
some
them.
people like a little burnt. I don't like burnt, but if you want me to put them back on yours, I can always do that because my grill stay hot.
Yeah.
Some people like that.
I'm coming over there to learn.
But man, we had a good time. Me and my son just out there chilling, man. Sitting down, talking, have a conversation, talking about nothing and something at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Respect that.
So real good week, and then just culminated, man. We always talk a lot about standing on our principles, being 10 toes down, things of that nature. And when situations arise, you get a chance to use that. And I've been able to do that twice this week, which is feels real
what's up.
good.
Feels
You know what I'm
good to
saying?
stand on it.
Stand on it.
That's
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff came at me and I was able to stand on it and,
You
pat
wanna
yourself.
share?
No, I don't want to go
Okay.
too far.
He just give you the progress report.
Progress
Just know he
report.
passed.
Progress
He passed that
report.
test. That's what I'm talking about. Man, shout out to passing the test. man.
yeah.
All right.
Most definitely.
What's
So
up?
stand on it, man. So yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. It look like it sound like everybody had a good week then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure everybody has heard about it by now.
Whew.
What you talking about, man?
Man, we got to get into it, man. Because
Come on, get into it
We
then.
should have got into it a while back, but I don't know if you want to say we late to the show or what, but we still getting into it. We got to talk about this Project 2025, man.
Oh man.
If you don't know what it is, if you still haven't Googled it yet and don't know what it is, Project 2025 is a 900-page manifesto made by the Heritage Foundation. And if you don't know what the Heritage Foundation, do your Googles. They are a organization of far right-wing businessmen. Okay.
I like the
so
way you
to speak.
classified that.
I agree too.
And
That was classic.
this manifesto that they did, which is called the Project 2025, it is a plan to basically give the president full reign over the entire government. Basically, what this thing wants, it all boils down to basically they want to get rid of all of the government agencies, the EPA, the the Food and Drug Administration, TSA. They want to get rid of all of these government organizations, administrative organizations, and have the president just reign supreme over everything, call all the shots, just basically become a dictator. Okay. And Well, me personally, I think when that happens, and see, they've already called for when they've already called for the first, if Trump wins his first 30 days in office, they want him to dispatch the military throughout the country, and start basically putting martial law on the country. And that's when you get to the BS, because see, that's gonna start a civil war. Me and Apple Juice been talking about it. We've been talking about it. We've been saying it's coming. That's probably what's gonna kick it off. You think?
Yeah, I think from a perspective, especially when you go to civil war, I think wars are started in many facets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like this Project 2525, it ain't coming. It's here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's already legislation being passed on the state levels, right? And if Trump doesn't get in, right, they're still going to be petitioning different Republicans and things of that nature to push their agenda, if that makes sense. I like the phrasing that you use when you talked about businessmen, because what businessmen are looking for is that bottom line, right? And they're going to use every trick, dog, pony, things in the book to be able to make that dollar line and turn a profit, if that makes sense, right? And so it's not funny, and it's not just happening, but it's crazy that politics is basically turned into capitalism. I'm gonna say it again. Politics is turned into capitalism. Like, people are politicizing things to turn it into some money, right?
Right.
And so therefore, does this fit my agenda? Does this fit my bottom line? And as Chris just mentioned, like, some of these things we can already see, which doesn't have any direct conjunction with Project 2025. But when you look at things like the president's now being able to have immunity,
right,
on things, right?
Yeah.
Right. And
that's crazy.
The office, long as you were using it in the spirit of the office of the president, then the president cannot be held accountable for anything. So what happened to no man is above the law? What happened to these things that our country were founded on and things of that nature? So you look at Project 2025, I think it's something that's already here. It's just that I'll say this. I'll say it like this. Give you a quick little story now. I pass it to you, young boy. This guy had a friend, right? Him and his friend was real cool. And man, they've been kicking it for years, man. Going out, doing this, having a good time, shoot pool, smoke cigars together. This guy found out one day that his friend said, man, I don't mess with you no more because of this one little thing that happened. And it just really wasn't even no big thing, but it just looked like it, in the papers and perceived and things of that nature. So he went to another one of his friends and said, hey man, Johnny, stop messing with me, because of XYZ. Thought he was my friend. He said, it's not that he wasn't your friend, he just stopped pretending. He stopped pretending. Yeah. So when we look at 2025, right, it's just like they didn't stop pretending now. I'm putting it right here in your face. This is how it is. This is what we always felt like. This is how we want to run this country, and we need to get it back to where we wanted it. So I'll pass to you, my brother.
I'm gonna start off with saying this, and they may not like it. My biggest fear with Project 25 or anything, because we know Trump is saying that he's not endorsing that, but he's in fact rewording it and just changing the title on it for his own thing.
Right.
My biggest issue is for us who claim we won't change, and I'm talking about my age bracket and below, is we don't take a lot of this stuff seriously. We like stuff that go viral, but we only support stuff that is trend setting. it can be viral, but it may not be a trend setting. Like everybody's talking about Project 25,
Mhm.
but it's not Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef.
Right.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying on that.
I hear everybody. I see it. It
Mhm.
is viral, but to me, it's not important.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And my issue with that is, I think something that we're gonna hit on in the future is like we won't get active with it because what some people aren't knowing is that, like you said, they're coming out to the Department of Education.
Mm-hmm.
You already see what Florida's trying to do.
Yeah.
And as a vet, as a Navy vet who does have some disabilities, for some of y'all that don't know, this Project 25 or Trump's customized version of it, they are also coming
Agenda
after the
47.
VA, our compensation. They're coming after all of that. It's a lot of stuff that some I've seen now and some that I've been seeing like all over like the internet and stuff. It's a lot of things that they're coming after, and like you say, it's like this is supposed to be the like. I remember I could have sworn, I believe it's the Constitution. It says we the people, and you might as well just delete that because like the way it's looking with this whole thing is it ain't no people, it ain't no we, it's just it's whoever they put in charge and whatever they choose to promote, and that's what's going to happen, and it's going to get passed. And if people think it won't get passed, well, we didn't think ban on abortions would get passed, but it did. We didn't think it was possible for them to stop teaching about slavery, and they did. We didn't think it was possible for them to take religion out of schools, and they did. And I'm not forcing no religion on anybody, but there's so many things that we thought wasn't capable of happening. We're like, no, that's not gonna happen. This is America. And in every instance, it has happened. It has happened. And so I just hope people don't get lazy with this. And I know last time, and it's not necessarily me saying that, we were talking about Trump, and I was like, not believing he's racist, but still, whether you're racist or not, I believe in something that benefits us as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, of course, we're gonna want them pieces that help our people, our neighborhood, or me get better. But overall, we need something that helps us as a country. And we letting all these people make these decisions and take all these things away from. And some of the things they are taking away from are supposed to be the things that help us become better people, like to help live out the American dream. How are you attacking, let's say, the Department of Education, whether it's funding and all of that, and yet you want us to go to school, to these schools where you're defunding them. So how are we supposed to get ahead of life if what we're supposed to be trained at, you're taking money from, when we're already struggling now in certain areas to get funding for those schools. So, man,
let me hop on you right quick about schools, because I just read something interesting about schools. One, as you're saying, you want to defund schools, right? But it's mandatory to go to schools. Like, make that make sense.
You can
Like,
get fined
right?
You can get big trouble.
They don't too much fine you anymore like that anymore. Because they saw that it was being a detriment, especially on students of color and special education students. You start seeing like these big fines, and if you look at the homes and the backgrounds and things of that nature they're coming from, the economic and social disadvantages that they're at, they were not able to pay those fines, right? So you're getting way more behind, and you got to pay your bills and things of that nature. So it's still there, but they don't push it, because that's one of the areas that I work in. But try this on right here. I read something that's very interesting. Schools are the only social institution that have to take everything that they get. They got to take a kid, whether they speak English or not, whether they have a disability, whether they hungry, whether they thirsty, whether they're poor, whether they're rich, whether they got to put up with their parents. They got to do those. However, our other social institutions don't have to do that anymore, like a hospital. Look, right?
Really?
And they're trying to change that.
They don't have to. I mean, of course they'll let you in, but they're gonna bill you at the wazoo still, right? But public education is what? Free. We the taxpayers pay for that, if that makes sense. And we do things like buy a lot of materials, don't use them, right? When those things could go to something else, if that makes sense. So I think you make an interesting point about this Project 2025 or Agenda 47, whatever it may be. They're looking at things like defunding education. But if you don't go to school, we're gonna find you or take you to jail. Right? Tell me how that makes sense. Like make that make sense, right?
It's hard. It's hard to make sense of it because it's like, well, we're supposed to be electing certain people, and that's not just at the presidential level. It's at every position when it comes to politics. We're supposed to elect people that are supposed to be looking out for our well-being, and then they're okay with accepting agendas or projects from people that do the opposite.
Yeah, I think Carter G. Woodson said it best. Like we need servants instead of leaders. We need some servants instead of leaders. Like, you know, in their leadership capacity and not just lead and tell people what to do and follow other people's agenda and get kickbacks. You know, where my $40,000 at on this, you know.
Like the pastors who don't get paid to be pastors.
Yeah.
And none against pastors that do get paid, because you still do have great pastors and that be their only income. But in that way, if you're doing it out of your heart and your spirit, you're in this position not for the paid, but you're doing it because you understand how to represent your people and not self.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's a wealth of more information that we can talk about as it relates to this topic, regarding this topic. But I want to try to move it a little bit, if that makes sense, and talk about some of the things that we're planning on doing, you know, to help out the community and things of that nature. So Chris mentioned the last time the chef talked about it, that we're going to have some things coming up pretty soon. So we're looking at things like voter registration drive, working with kids in the community, enlightening people on some of the conversations we have. Also, we probably maybe even look at doing one of these shows like a town hall meeting, if that makes sense, where we're asking questions to the audience and they're asking us some questions back, so we can actually get everybody involved in the conversation and seeing some different things that we can do. But one of the things that we got coming up is a voter registration drive, probably somewhere around August to September. So we're going to keep y'all stay tuned to that. And we really want y'all to come out and support it. We really want y'all to come out and dig in with us, tap in with us, put your feet on the ground, boots on the ground, bring people out. We're going to have food. We're going to encourage each other. We're going to talk to each other. We're going to do some mindfulness activities. We're going to do some experimental activities, have some fun, but we're also going to get some people registered to vote, right?
Yep, that's the main goal.
Because that's the main goal. We want to make sure that we get some people to vote. I can say we got to go. We want 1,000 people to get registered to vote, right?
Right.
We want 1,000 people to get registered to vote. So let people know about this. We're going to be talking about and putting information on here the next 2 weeks of what that's going to look like, what that's going to feel like. We want to be able to touch you as well. So again, come out, support. We're not going to just talk about it. We're going to be about it. We're going to show some action. A lot of people like to do this, but we're going to work these hands in a different way. And we ain't talking about fighting each other. We're going to fight for each other, if that makes sense. So, you got anything, young boy?
Yeah, man, I got something, man, and it might be because I'm the young boy that I gotta ask this question to my big bros, man. Just as a person who sits back and observe, I want to ask a question. Why do us as men, why is there an expectation without any leniency?
Expectation without leniency.
Because if I was to give you some quick examples, if we're expected to provide and do all these things and protect off rip, and it's not saying that, hey, we should slack off, but I'm saying, like, if you come up short in any aspect, then it's like you treat it like dirt. Like, and
it boom.
Yeah, and it's not that I'm saying that there isn't an expectation on women, but nobody I don't feel like they're attacked in that same way. Like either we become F boys or say you want a man who is in tune with his emotion and now he's sassy, or what's the word, zesty. Like the expectation from society and those of the opposite gender. I ain't going to get into all the genders, but those of the opposite gender, like the expectation that we have, we don't really get a lot of leniency, and I just don't feel we do, man. And I'm like, why is that? Like, what and it's fine if you're gonna be my my helper and my supporter, but you always every now and then you'll see a woman say, men need a safe place too. But then I'm like, well, for the same people saying men need a safe place too, I don't really see no action as far as like, because you still friends with the ones who sit there and talk about us like we ain't, like we dogs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because we're gonna get it, like say in the black community, we're gonna get it from the judicial system,
Mm,
the employment system,
mm.
Mm-hmm.
and our own women.
Yeah, you come home.
And then my thing is the excuses you sometimes say if a man is lacking in, well, yeah, he can't be my leader. Well, he shouldn't have to fight with you to be your leader.
True statement.
Like, and a leader,
I mean,
it doesn't mean that I have everything right, but of course, in a lot of aspects, yes, my helpmate will help sharpen my skills, but you shouldn't make it hard on him because it's already hard as it is. So I do feel like sometimes us as men, like, oh, they can say you got mama boys and all that, but y'all, I'm gonna start to say, y'all as the world don't treat us like we got extra help. There's so much help for you. Don't even have to be a single mother. You can just be a woman struggling, and there are so many different type of aids for you.
Yeah.
It's in so many different ways. We don't have these avenues of help, or let's just say they're not as public, or there are not as many as there would be for say the woman.
Yeah. You know what? I think a lot of that stems from I know watching the men in my family growing up,
Okay.
you know, like my father was very headstrong. He basically ruled our house with an iron fist, you know, don't do this, don't do that. You do what I tell you to do, yada, yada, yada. Okay. And I think for a lot of us in my generation, that's the way we came up. That's what we saw. So that's why a lot of people in my generation don't really show that emotional side, because at least as far as in our community, you couldn't show that side of yourself because you couldn't show emotion because you had to be strong for your family. You were the I won't say breadwinner. What's the word I'm looking for?
Protector, provider.
Yeah, you were the protector and the provider for your family. You know, so that's what we had as role models. That's what we looked at. You know, now then too, you had some who didn't have that in their family. Okay, you didn't have because father ran out, whatever. You know, in jail, what have you. But I know for me, from my standpoint, that's the way. That's what I saw in my father.
See, but like, say what you just said right there about males having to be the provider.
Mm-hmm.
Being a provider doesn't change, but the criteria of what a provider does change. Like, let's say all of us wanted, let's just say, the old school lady. Well, we just want a lady that's gonna take care of the house, and, you know, be our peace.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't change. That doesn't evolve. But being a provider as a man now doesn't just exclude what you do for the house. Now it's do you get my nails done every week? Do we travel? And that's fine depending on, like, you know, your income, but it's the expectation. There's no leniency towards us, like, because now I can't afford to take you to Dubai or whatever and all this extra stuff. Like, I'm less adequate then. And I can give you a perfect example of how we are so easily judged. I know y'all be seeing all these reels about the pop the balloon.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I know you.
That is hilarious.
Like, come on, like, there's and then it was crazy is they'll say, well, he's too short. And then let the man get on there and say, I don't like her because of, say, her skin complexion or her size, or she wears XYZ, or she exposes. Then we get jumped down our throat. So I'm like, so you can have
standards.
You can have a standard of what you like or what you're attracted to or what appeals to you. But the moment a man has an expectation or that he just knows what he likes, it's a problem.
I think
he's being sexist. That's
maybe. But I think that in the black community, the men have suffered in silence so long that it's become normalized. right?
Yeah.
And when you suffer in silence so long and it becomes normalized, is you're not speaking up towards certain issues and things of that nature.
Thanks.
What ends up happening is we create, I'm gonna say, a spoiled mentality, just like
I
you
can
would
see
do with a kid.
Yeah.
Right. And if this generation didn't say anything about it, then I'm gonna add a little bit more to it, what their standard should be. And then that generation didn't say nothing about it. Then I'm gonna add a little bit more to it, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then before you know it, it's out of control because now you're not giving me nothing, right? But it's also very important, and I think we talked about this as well. Man, find you somebody you can grow with because the mate that you choose is a result of you as well, representation of you as well, right? So if you choosing somebody, right?
Ouch.
Yeah, say if you can't say amen, say ouch,
Ouch. Yeah, amen.
right? Because again, if this is the expectation that we have to do all of these things, right? Then I most definitely got to choose somebody that's gonna ride with me on my things,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, I ain't looking for 18, I'm looking for one. Right?
Right.
I'm not looking for 18, I'm looking for it may take me 18 to get through to get to the one, but I'm looking for one, right?
Right.
But those expectations, anytime you giving anybody anything, I just like to let all men know this. Anytime you giving anybody anything, they're gonna want some more.
Right.
And they're gonna want more of
Yeah.
it. Right.
One more.
And the level is gonna raise up. Same thing with you. You ain't gonna keep working this job for 5 years. You been doing all these things, merit and increasing and things in that nature, and not gonna ask for a raise, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just how it works. This is the position that we're in. This is why we are the leader. This is why we are the king. This is why that happens from that perspective.
Right.
Look at it from this perspective as well. We do the same thing to God all the time. We do the same
You
thing
gonna
to
go
God
there?
all the time,
Mm.
right?
Go there.
Right.
Come on with it. Come
Yeah,
on
we
you
with
do
it.
the
go
same
there,
thing to
okay.
God all the time. We
Okay.
say, we ain't gonna do this no more. We're not gonna do that no more. Lord, I appreciate you. Sometimes we only talk to him when we need some. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes we don't even when we start our prayer, we only let him know how magnificent and wonderful his name is. We just go straight into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. No foreplay, no nothing. We just jump straight into
Say, don't
it.
give God no foreplay. Just,
Yeah.
just
He
give
don't
it
talk
to
to
me.
you. You ain't got no relationship with him.
Okay.
Then I would say this as well, and I've had to learn this, man. I've been in a lot of different relationships and things of that nature, whether that's, and I even say like relationships I have with my friends are relationships as well, right? But what I've had to learn is teach people how to love me, right? I got to teach people how to love. What do I mean by that? This is what I will accept. This is what I won't.
Standing
Mhm.
on
And
that.
standing on that. And as I
Okay.
told you, like I got a chance to do that this week, right?
I got
Right.
to stand 10 toes on it. Okay.
Yeah, stand 10 toes on it. And guess what? At the end of the day, guess what? It's okay to disagree,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I agree that we're disagreeing right now, and I'm gonna move this way, and you're gonna move that way,
Got you.
right? And we talked about this a little bit earlier. Like, you had a conversation with us about that, and but that don't mean that I don't love you no less. You know what I'm saying? Or even no more, right? But I know that moving forward, that I put everything into it, right? And I know I'm gonna come back across this street again, like I told you about 3rd Street, and I'm gonna wave at you. You gonna want to jump on that coattail, but you can't keep up with me because I'm going here and I'm coming back. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
I see what
Right.
you're saying, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
But I ended like this, man. To whom much is given, much is expected.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that can handle it are respected. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, why women are out here doing some of these things and saying, if you can't take me to Dubai, if you can't take me on this and you can't take me on that, at the end of the day, I gotta live with myself. I gotta live with myself, right?
Yep.
And Will Smith said this, I gotta take happy where I'm going. I can't expect you to make me happy. So this already inside of me, right? So
Mhm.
I'm bringing you peace. I'm bringing you joy. Guess what? Those spirits don't line up. It's deuces. Go
Right.
get bye.
True,
Holler
true,
at you.
true,
You see what I'm saying?
true.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. And if And I would employ any of my young brothers, 40, 35, 30, 20, under. Man, make yourself happy first before you trying to make somebody else happy.
Yeah.
Right?
Learn yourself.
Learn
Hey, man,
yourself.
that might have helped me a lot right there.
Dig in there, because once you dig in there, you're going to know what you're going to accept and what you're not. Right? Dig in there, because all this other stuff, all this social media stuff, it's good, it's entertaining, but it don't matter, man, if you ain't happy. It don't even matter, right? So dig in on yourself, learn yourself, know what you will do, know what your disciplines are. What do you stand? I ask people right now, what's your principles? What you stand on? Right? For instance, like in my fraternity, we got principles. I tell people all the brotherhood, scholarship, citizenship, leadership, fidelity. Right? Those are principles. Like, you don't break those principles. And then if you don't have any principles, what do you have something to measure up against? Right? You ain't got nothing to measure up against. Like when you take your vows, when you marry, you got something to measure up against. Right? So if you got something to measure up against, then you can say, let me put you on the meter, baby. Let me put you on the meter. Yeah, let me put you on the meter. Does that add up? Nah. And you feel it. I know you feel it, because I used to feel it when I was young, but I ain't respond to it.
Same, man.
You see, you feel it. You know that ain't right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know if this a hit and run or whatever, when they start talking crazy, okay, I already know what this is. Like, you already showing me what this is.
Right.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you for cutting to the chase. I appreciate it.
Deuces.
Yes, sir.
I holler like Chris. What that Chris Brown said? Deuces.
I holler.
Deuces.
Man,
You know.
peace,
So,
2 fingers.
I ain't gonna lie, man. This is one of the moments where like you ask a question because you're like, man, I got an issue with this other side. But when they give you the answer, you low key be like, well, man, if I really just find something inside myself, really, I really don't need a answer, because the answer is once I'm better with me, I get all the answers I need from them.
I wrote this down.
he said that.
Yeah,
He
You
said
feel me?
that. He said that when people they say you don't want to go ask him no question. He said that at work. You don't want to go talk to him because he gonna ask you the question
I'm
right
trying to
back.
think what somebody said. They said, look, sometimes be careful what you ask God, because sometimes he just might answer you.
Well, I think it was a preacher I was hearing on Facebook or something. It's like the future of everything that God made is inside of itself.
Say it again.
The future of everything that God made is inside of itself. So I'm gonna take an apple, right? Take the apple, you break that apple down, you cut it open, you look inside of there, you're gonna see a stem, you're gonna see some seeds, right? In those seeds, what's in the seeds?
Another tree.
Some trees, right? Right. But here's the cold part about it, and what people don't realize. This is what's so cold about life, right? Check this out. When I plant those seeds and I start watering, which way is that tree gonna grow first?
It's gonna go down first.
Grow down. There you go. It's gonna go
Yeah.
down. So you gotta go down before you come what?
Up.
You gotta come up, right? So you going down, you gotta go down because you gotta build that foundation. So sometimes you gotta understand that just because you down right now, you just building a foundation right now. You getting yourself strong. You about to come up out this ground. You about to bust out. You about to be this big tree trunk. And that ain't even stop. That don't stop there. Now them branches about to come. And that's when you start multiplying yourself.
Hold on, man.
You see
Hold
what I'm
on,
saying?
man.
I think I'm preaching.
Hold
right.
on, man. Hold on.
Boy, he hitting the barriers tonight, ain't
Hey, bro, check this out, fam. You ever ask God a question and he answered it too fast and you realize, was I really ready for the answer? Hey, I asked this question. I said, wait, I was trying to make this about everybody. And I said, hold on, God didn't say, no, I got an answer for you. I wasn't ready for it. Ooh, man.
Yeah, but
So
that's hard right there,
that
man.
growing
comes
down
from-
before you can grow up, that hit home.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And that is your berryism for
Hey, for
this
real,
episode.
man. Yo, I'm gonna tell him about that later. He don't know. I'm gonna tell him.
Yeah. Hey. You know what? I think we're gonna cut that right there.
Hey, let's do that
Man,
then.
all right, man.
No, we're gonna cut that right there. Tell you what.
Appreciate y'all big brothers, man.
Yeah,
You
absolutely,
know, if
bro.
you like what you heard, we want to know what you all think. Leave your comment below and let us know what you think. Talk to us. We want to get feedback from y'all, and we want to hear from you. All right. So, tell you what. Like I said, Juice said, we got some things coming up in the future, in the very near future. Put it like that. We got a voter registration drive. We'll be, if you're not following us, follow us on Facebook. Let the brother speak. Use the exclamation point. Follow us on Facebook, and that's where all the updates will be. We're going to have a voter registration drive. We're going to have some barbecue and hot dogs and hamburgers for the kids. We're going to have free haircuts for the kids for back to school. We're just gonna have a whole lot of other stuff, going on for you. So come on out and come join us and we're getting into the community, so we want you to come into the community with us. All right, how about that? All right, so again, like, follow, share, all that good stuff. Hit that thumbs up button. Tell a friend to tell a friend and tell another friend. All right,
Absolutely.
yeah, so because that's going to help us do more for you. How about that? All right, so in the meantime, you all stay peaceful, you all stay blessed, and we will see you next week.
Let the brother speak.